Good morning, H coming at you with another tutorial video. This one, we're going to be looking at the sweep tool in Autodesk Inventor 2023. The sweep tool is a bizarre one. Like it's interesting, right? It's definitely got some unique features, some unique ideas, some principles to kind of start out with. So the first thing that we want to do is actually look at the sketches that I have created. So the first sketch here, very simply, is just to give me two different profile options. So this is our sketch one. It is on the XY plane. It is super simple, starting at origin 0, 0, making a rectangle, making a circle, just so that we have two profiles to work with to kind of demonstrate two different ideas regarding the sweep tool. So this is the first sketch that I did, sketch one. It is important. It's necessary. Now with the sweep tool, what's important and necessary is that we have another sketch, which is our pathway. Okay, so look at the sweep tool here with me. It sweeps one or more sketch profiles or solid to a body along a selected path to create a feature or body. Now, I've always found it easier to do two sketches with sweep. It says one or more, so it is possible to sweep with one sketch. It is more challenging for sure because the sketch has to be correct. It has to have the profile. It has to have the pathway. It has, for both for this instance to occur. Um, and as it says, if you sweep multiple profiles, they must exist in the same sketch. The path can be open or closed loop, but must pierce the profile plane. This is important. So when we look at a path, the path that we draw has to touch or pierce a profile plane. So if we started on the XY plane, which is here, right? If we started here, this is our front plane, right? And we drew there, our sketch that is our pathway needs to pierce that, but it doesn't have to be coplanar. It could be on a different plane. And this is what I have done. So this is our YZ plane right here. And there's our original XY plane, sketch that's at origin at 0, 0. And here's our YZ plane looking at for the front side, the front of this space, or sorry, the right side of this space. The front is XY, right? And sketch two, which is here, I'm going to reveal it now, make it visible. Sketch two is just a sketch that was made on this plane. Now notice I used 0, 0 as kind of the starting point for this line because that is a shared point in both the XY plane and also in this plane of YZ, right? That same center point, that origin point of 0, 0, 0, right? X is 0, Y is 0, Z is 0 is shared. And so that's incredibly important. It's piercing that plane, that XY plane that our sketch one was drawn on, right? So sketch one is here. Sketch two is on an entirely different plane. Here's XY, here's YZ, entirely different plane, but they are intersecting. They are actually able to, like, you can see that they intersect at that 0, 0 mark, right? So this is important because our path is this, we kept our path purple, right? So we could see it a little bit better. Our path is what this tool is going to follow as it adds material in the profile shape that we're given to it, right? So when we click the sweep tool, right, we need to do the input geometry. So we still have the same input geometry selection boxes. We have to select the profile. We have to select the path. Very similarly to revolve, where we had to select the profile, but then we had to select an axis of revolution. In sweep, we're selecting the profile, and then we're selecting the path. Now, what sweep is going to do is going to add 3D material, just like extruding. And as it adds that material, it's going to follow our path line. So it isn't going to just go straight. It can go wherever the path is taking it, right? So it can follow that path wherever. And there's a lot of different options here in orientation and tapering and twisting and all sorts of different stuff that are going on. Let me do the advanced properties as well. So we look at our profile. Our profile, we're going to select the entire, we're going to select both profiles. Actually, we're going to do the circle as well as the internal thing. This way it makes just one solid circular profile, just one big circle. And then our curve, our edge, this is our path here. And you can see, like we zoomed in a bit, we got a little preview going on. And this is following this line, right? This is, and then we hit OK. And that's exactly actually just what happened, right? The profile is being extruded. In this case, it's being swept, though. We're using the sweep tool, but it's following that line right in the middle, right in the middle of the whole thing. And then you got some different options that are here for like rail, like this orientation is follow the path. That's the basic orientation, the most used in all honesty. Fixed, you can see what happens here with fixed is follow the path. What ends up happening is the circle ends up kind of changing orientation a bit following the path that is there. So you can see if this circle here, like that's not a perfect circle, right? That's it's adjusted to be aligned with the path. But if we change this to this orientation of fixed, it's going to change it so this circle is fixed and also parallel to the original circle that was drawn, right? So it's much more of a perfect circle at the end. And that's where the difference comes in these different orientations of the sweep tool is, okay, well, what's happening to the profile shape as it's going and following the path? Does the orientation of the circle follow the path and change with the path? Does it stay fixed at every junction point, every situation? It stays fixed as a circle that is parallel to the original profile that is there, right? So it's all about the profiles and the path. And of course, how that do those profiles, like how do the orientation of those exist within the path itself? And of course, we have some tapering that we can do, just like in extruding. We can have this taper and flare out, or we can have it taper and kind of come in and take away material. So we have this tapering that we can do here as well. We also have twist. Let's see if it actually works. Sometimes it does not. No, it does not. So there's some twisting that we can do with that. Not really important for the certification or anything else that you're really doing with the basics of the sweep tool. I might do a later video that explores this twist specifically, because it can be kind of tricky and interesting. You can make some really interesting things with it. Obviously, our body name is whatever we want it to be. Right. And optimize for single selection. I actually never really used this advanced option. It's just really easy and much more user friendly to just selecting profiles and select the path. That way, you're selecting the proper things and you can feel you have a bit more control over it. So if I hit OK, there's my sweep, right? Very, very simple, very, very easy. There's a couple other things we can do with this because we can change. Let's just do this. Let's just undo. Here, we'll just delete it, but keep the sketches in place. There we go. So if we sweep this, we can sweep just this now and then do the same selected edge. And now we have this sweep that's occurring, but it has this kind of channel cut through it, right? Almost like a straw, right? And all these channels are here, and it goes all the way up to the other side, all the way through. There's the channel there as well, right? So all this channel is all there. And again, you can just kind of, depending upon the selection of the profile you're making, you can do some really interesting things with the profile selection and channeling, or just doing a bunch of different stuff for sure. So select profiles. We could do the same thing. We could actually do now just the rectangle itself, right? And sweep just that shape. So again, with different shapes, depending upon what the profile shape is, it will change and adjust your sweep. Of course, opposite is true with the case of if your pathway is different, right? Your curve is different. Right now we selected all these. Maybe there's not like actual like vertexes here and like corners. Maybe it's just a fluid curvature, right? And like a spline technique. That could be in a sweep that's done as well. So what your profile looks like, its shape, its design, what your pathway looks like, its shape and design are both going to influence your outcome for the sweep tool. And that is the sweep tool. Very, very simple. You break it down, you use the basic shapes, you got your path to follow, and you can pretty much make almost anything using the sweep tool. That pretty much feels more organic, it feels more designed. Think door handles, etc. And it's very, very useful tool to set up in making all sorts of different objects or designs for class or on your own. Until next time, this is H. This has been the sweep tool in Autodesk Inventor 2023. I hope you all have a